Good evening, beloved to Christ. There's one frustration that I hear over and over again from people who are very serious Christians and really, truly want to grow in their faith. I hear the same one over and over again. I feel like I'm just not making progress in my spiritual life. I feel like this particular sin that I've struggled to defeat, this passion that I've been battling with for some time, or certain thoughts or patterns of behavior and belief, practice, these are ingrained in me. And as much as I'm trying to excise them from me, I don't think I'm even making any progress. I always want to stop people right there and just remind them that we're not really equipped to judge ourselves. We don't know ourselves as well as God knows us. And especially when we look on what we don't have or on what we don't do well, um, oftentimes we find that we completely lack objectivity. As a matter of fact, an interesting thing happens as we grow closer to Christ. Oftentimes we become more aware of the distance that separates us from Him, how holy He is, and how lacking we are. And so it's a natural response to that to become a little despondent or a little saddened by it. But I absolutely love the whole book of Philippians, but in particular this first chapter. St. Paul, when he is likely imprisoned and staring down a possible upcoming martyrdom, St. Paul receives a gift from the church at Philippi. And while thanking them for the gift, he says several words of encouragement. And this is one of the first things he says to the church at Philippi to bring them encouragement. And I am sure that he who began a good work in you will bring it to completion at the day of Jesus Christ. Philippians 1, verse 6. That he will bring to completion that thing that he has started. A spiritual life, forgive this trite metaphor, but it's rather true. It's a marathon rather than a sprint. We have to play the long game. We have to look long term. And oftentimes our emotions simply aren't suited for that. It is enough to say that we're not where we ought to be. And here's what we're struggling with. And God, I leave this at your feet. And if you bring this to a priest in confession, he might give a pointer or two, or a prayer, or something to read that might be of benefit. But it is certainly enough to do the struggle and to let God take care of the rest. We don't always know how God will complete these good things that He has started in us. But we are not junk. And although we may be bent slightly, we're not broken. The image of God is still pure and visible, albeit just a little muddled. And so in this life, although we will be confronted regularly with the pain of incompletion, we give thanks to God that He will bring to completion all of the good works that He has began in us. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.